childhood days, we used to go to Harlan every Saturday night to get Mother to get groceries and stuff. And we'd get in the car, and Dad would say, "Now leave the flies in here till we get down to the pasture, and we'll turn them out in the pasture." I never will forget that.
Leave what?
Leave the flies in the car until we get down to the pasture, and we'll turn them out in the pasture.
When it was winter, do you remember what was the worst winter storm you ever experienced? What was it?
Well, the worst one was the winter of 35 and 36
Where was it?
had
In Iowa?
Iowa had 38 inches of snow built up. It snowed every day for a little bit every day for a whole month. And it got down to 20-some below zeros. That was the worst winter that we ever had.
That must have been the winter that we tied or put a rope from the house to the barn,
I was just gonna say,
So we
that's
could-
what they done.
went out to do chores.
No, I think that was before that. We really didn't have any real bad blizzard that time, but it just stayed so
So
cold.
this was a
then.
blizzard that we had that time.
How about you, Margaret? Do you remember the worst winter storm?
Yeah, it was 1935 and 36. We had a real bad flood.
Is this in Anaheim?
Yeah, in the Anaheim Hospital, which is UCI now. The river was right behind it, and it undermined part of it, and it came down the Santa Ana River. And we had a dairy at the time, and
Fifth and New
plus
Hope.
the farm at Fifth and New Hope. And my dad and my brother had to take the milk, because we didn't have a freezer to keep it in, to the bridge. And they had to roll the cans across the bridge. They wouldn't let anybody on it because it had all been undermined. But Excelsior Creek, or Arden Creek, who we shipped to, was on the other side to catch the cans so that they could get the milk. And a lot of our friends who lived nearby had different kinds of animals and everything. And our place was high and dry, so we had every kind of animal you could think of. Everybody brought them to our place. It was kind of scary.
That was in Anaheim.
Well, it was in Santa Ana and Anaheim both.
We're talking about storms, though. The first time I seen Lorie, this wasn't no storm, but it looked like it was. He was nothing but mud.
The first
I
time
think
you saw him?
that was the best looking I think I've ever seen.
When did you first meet Lorie?
When he came to Iowa.
When was that?
I don't know. Lorie can tell you.
I remember when Laurie used to
He
come
worked
in.
for Lars Sorensen, I think, wasn't it, Lorie? Wasn't he working for
Yeah,
Lars Sorensen?
Lars Sorensen was a well digger.
Yeah.
He did wells by hand.
What did you do?
Got in, and then I was up pulling it up with mud and stuff and dumping it.
Yeah.
And that's the reason that was all muddy and dirty.
Linda, you know, we lived kind of up on a hill, and then there was a flat bottom, and then another hill, and we were in town, and it was raining so bad, and somebody come in and told Dad, he said, "If you want to get home, you better run out." So we did, and we hadn't any more. They got home, and Dad heard a crash, and it was a big part of the cement road washed out.
No.
We missed it just that much. The same flood that she's talking about, we was in a 28 Chevy, and they had disc wheels, and the road was possibly maybe 3 feet above the ground, and Dad would have drove into there, not knowing where the road was,
Covered with water.
and come up on a big bull standing on the road. So he had to kind of work around that bull. We got home, as Evelyn spoke about, but Dad made the remark, he says, never again, because those wheels with the disc wheels, he had all his power to keep that car from drifting off into the water.
Yeah.
So, but we're quite fortunate that we're even here.
When you were growing up, what was your favorite meal?
Chicken.
What was it?
What was your favorite meal growing up?
Chicken gizzards.
Now tell the story about chicken gizzards.
Oh, we always fought over them, and I always got them because I was the youngest.
And you didn't like them.
And I didn't particularly like them, no, but I wanted them because the other kids wanted them.
Did you eat them?
I
Oh,
did.
yeah.
So the others couldn't eat them.
There's another reason why I'm bad.
Margaret, what was your favorite meal growing up?
The white chicken,
White chicken?
because we raised them.
Belgian waffles.
And during,
Belgian waffles.
well, that's breakfast.
So,
Oh, that was a good
My
one.
favorite meal is Belgian waffles for breakfast.
You're interested in chicken.
yeah, what about it?
What was yours,
If I
Mark?
didn't get the gizzard,
I got the gizzard.
I didn't have it.
What was your favorite meal
My favorite meal?
when you were
One.
a kid?
Well, I always liked fried potatoes and,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Corn.
good.
What's your favorite foods?
yeah.
Yeah.
What was your
I eat
favorite
chicken
top?
feet.
Chicken feet?
Yeah.
You ate the chicken feet?
Yeah,
How'd
pretty
you cook
good.
them? How? Why?
Skin them, fry 'em.
Really?
Now you know what's the matter with her feet now, don't you?
They're good.
How do you fix it?
Yeah.
Well, you wash them,
Chemo.
and then that yellows on them, you skin them, cut the toenails off, fry them.
But before she done all that, she'd take the cord that runs down there, and holds the leg and pulls that cord, and then the feet, the toes would go up and down.
Just to show you the difference between now and the time Tom and I got married, my wedding suit cost me $12.
Oh my goodness. Isn't that? And how much did your wedding dress cost then, Todd? Do you remember?
I didn't have no new dress. We went to Council Bluffs because Carver was working down there. And the Johnny Bartleson that he was working for, his wife, had a appendix operation, and we just wanted to get married because we couldn't get married because there was no money. And so Johnny told Lorie, says, "Will you go ahead and get married, and I could come, Todd could come and help my wife out," which he did. And I think he borrowed $50
$35.
from. Well, you had to. I thought you said you had $50 on you.
She married him for his
Man, I never had $50 in my life.
Probably saved money.
No, it's $35.
But anyway, we went to Council Bluffs because Clara was down there, and we could get her to go with us. He bought a suit. He bought me a pair of white shoes, which he gave $1.98 for. He paid $4 from our wedding ring.
Wow.
You can tell how much she was worth.
Just like today.
Yeah, it's like today.
Then we went on across the river over to Omaha and found a Methodist minister, and Clara and the Methodist minister's wife stood up for us, and we was married in the parish in Omaha.
And
Old
when we
Model
went
T
in,
Ford.
the minister asked, "Well, which one's the bride?"